Hi guys, you're welcome back. So now we're going to talk about innovative idea blocking. There are some things, or there are some basic things which people often don't take into cognizance when it comes to ideas. Sometimes people block ideas either directly or indirectly. And so that's why we're going to talk about things you need to watch out for in order not to sabotage your self from coming up with a unique business idea or from creating a unique business idea. One on the list is sensory gating. Sensory gating has to do with people trying to block um, sensory receptions, that is thoughts they really don't want into their minds, or block things they know they really don't want to dwell on. So segregating, the more people segregate, the more they tend to block out ideas. Because in the course of trying to block out negativity, you might, in one way or the other, block out positivity. That is, when positive ideas are coming in, you might easily get yourself sabotaged by blocking such positive ideas, along with negative thoughts, which you're trying not to allow into your space. So you want to try as much as you can to minimize sensory eating and ensure you create time to reflect, most especially when you're trying to come up with a business idea. You want to reflect on the industry, reflect on how things work, and reflect on the problems which one could as well perceive within the industry. So basically, you want to avoid, try as much as you can to avoid sensory gating. And secondly, we have strategic block. What strategic block does is people tend to avoid implementing business ideas because they felt, I mean, along the way they might encounter a challenge and they just felt, okay, I can't go around this challenge, and they just put an end to it. Rather than seeing how best they could go around it, perhaps discussing with people who could help them with the implementation of the idea, or who could serve as a mentor, or who could as well collaborate with them in implementing the idea. We just thought, okay, there are challenges towards implementing this idea, and they just put an end to it. They just put it by the side. So you want to avoid strategic block because in instances there are a lot of people who have put an end to an idea only to realize that idea would have fetched them much more money at a later time, or only to realize they've actually sabotaged themselves. So you want to try as much as you can not to subject yourself to strategic block. If there are challenges along the implementation of your business idea, see how best you can go around it. Try as many as you can to discuss with people who have experience in that field to help you out. Also, we have value block. What value block does is it tends to people who subject themselves to value blocks are people who avoid the implementations of business ideas because such idea wouldn't be generating return in the short time. So let's take, for instance, there is an idea that would require returns, let's say, in the next 4 or 5 years. And investing in it at this point in time really doesn't, I mean, seems not to be ideal for them. They just invariably put an end to it. Or maybe someone invited them to come and co-found a business idea, but they just felt, okay, this idea wouldn't be fetching me money immediately. Why should I go for it? They invariably just close the deal and say, oh no, I'm not interested. That's value block. Take for instance Facebook, when it was just starting up business, he invited some of his friends then to come and join him. Some of them did not join him because they really don't see value in the business idea, or perhaps, I mean, I really don't know why, but basically they choose not to join him. Some others joined him, and when you take a close look at the value of Facebook as of today, you realize those friends who actually says no then have actually subject themselves to value block in one way or the other. So you want to try as many as you can to see how best you avoid value block. And the last is self-confidence block. Sometimes people get, people, the fear of failure often subject people to self-confidence block. A lot of instances, people would feel, oh, how do I go about this? I'm too shy. The confidence is not there. And as a result, they just put an end to such business idea. So that's where self-confidence block comes in. So you want to try as much as you can to avoid all these blockage in order for you to be able to implement your business idea. Now we'll talk about innovation finding stages. When you're trying to come up with a business idea, as I've earlier on mentioned, while trying to utilize your creativity gear approach, it is important to understand the different finding stages. We have problem finding. This involves identifying major problems based on facts and objectives. Let's say you want to go into a specific industry. It is important for you to identify what are the major problems. What are the major problems people needs to be solved, that needs to be solved? What are the minor problems that needs to be solved? So you want to identify this problem based on facts and objectives. And as soon as you're able to identify these problems based on facts and objectives, then take the next step towards fact finding. That is, you want to have a better understanding of the problem based on relevant information about this problem. If possible, you want to sample people's opinion about the problem so that you'll be able to see if really the problem is actually not a problem from your own perspective alone, but more from other people's perspective. And as soon as you've done that, you want to get yourself engaged in objective finding, which involves you identifying the list of problems based on priority. You want to prioritize the problem after you've done the problem finding stage, you've done the fact finding stage, then you want to objectively analyze those problems in relation to priority. And as soon as you're able to do that, you take a step further to get yourself involved in idea finding. And what this idea finding does is that to search for potential solutions to the problem. And as soon as you're able to find the solutions, as soon as you're able to do idea findings, then you take a step further towards solution finding. And what solution finding does is that it helps you to check the implementation of your ideas. That is, the ideas you found, you realize, okay, these are solutions. Or in the real sense, these solutions, these projected solutions, are they implementable? Are they visible? It is, would you be able to, is this something that would easily be implemented? And will the customers be able to see it as a solution to their problem? So you want to try as much as you can to ensure you take your idea findings through feasibility stage. Thereafter, you talk about acceptance finding. And what acceptance finding does is it helps you to find the obstacles that might hinder the progression of your implementation. You want to as well analyze, you want to draft out implementation plans. You want to see if there are obstacles along the way. And thereafter, you want to map out action plans towards the implementations of your idea. So basically, taking yourself through these innovation finding stages will go a long way in helping you not only identify problems within the industry which you'd like to go into, you will be able to analyze the solutions in relation to how implementable or how visible they are, and thereafter you will be able to draft out the acceptance finding stage, which has to, you will be able to draft out implementation plan as well as action plan, which would ensure smooth implementations of your idea. Innovation solution procedures. When you're trying to implement an idea, there are some stages which you as well needs to go through, and there are some things you need to as well put in place right away right away from the beginning of the implementation of your project. And that has to do with planning. First, you want to plan your project. You want to have a projection on a short term as well as a long term. You want to have a short term planning as well as long term planning. And as well, you want to engage in organizing. That is, you want to organize your team. You want to organize things, tools which you're going to use in the course of the implementation. And it is important here to ensure you bring in the right people on board when it comes to implementing ideas. Because most times you realize having an idea isn't as important as having the right team to implement the idea. If it's more of an idea you can implement unilaterally, that's fine. But if it's an idea you're not going to be able to implement unilaterally, it is important to bring in the right team on board in order for you to be able to record success both on the short term and on the long term. Thereafter, we have culture. You want to have a picture of, you want to draft out what your organization policy would revolve around. What are the cultures which would identify or which would be the core within your organization or within your industry? I mean, within your brand. Because the truth of the matter is, culture plays a major role in how far you're going to go, most especially in the implementation of your business. How fast you're going to grow and how far you're going to go depend largely on the culture that's practicable or that is practiced within your organization or within your brand. So you want to ensure that the culture within your company is give room for your company to grow. Also, controlling. Here you have to, as your company or your business grows, you want to see how best to control things. What are some of the things you want to control? The implementation of your model, you need to control it in relation to the feedback you get from the customers, because feedback has a major role. If you ignore the feedback from your customers, invariably you're sabotaging your business, and before you realize it, your idea might eventually kick you out of business. But when you give consideration to the end users, you give considerations to those who are using your services or who are using your products, and put them at the forefront, make them smile, and before you realize it, you adjust your model in relation to what they want, not what you want as a person, but what your customers actually want. You realize your business would keep making progress. So that's what innovative solution procedures is all about. So you want to right away from onset identify the procedures towards the implementation of your business, both on the short term as well as on the long term. Now let's talk about small scale business areas to explore. And here we're talking about, so there are various business areas which you could actually explore. We have the consultancy area, you have the agriculture area, you have services. Like take for instance, the Airbnb is offering an online-based services. Amazon is offering services. eBay as well is offering services. You have transportation, you have real estate, you have utilities. So you want to try as many as you can to think through any of these small scale business areas. Maybe you're going into big big scale business area. You can as well think through and at your quiet moment reflect on how best you can solve the problem within any of the industry. And the good thing is you could see an idea which is actually implementable or which has been implemented in real estate, or perhaps which has been implemented in transport business area, and just bring it into your consultancy, or you see an idea working fine in consultancy area, just bring it down into transport or into real estate or into whichever area of business